I woke up to find myself chained, betrayed by Donata, and Zayn weakened by wolfsbane, enduring torture. I don't know what they injected him with, but as I saw him bruised all over, I cried out in despair. 𝐊𝐤𝐼𝐴 the final light. Even when we're 6 feet under, and our bones are dust, I will haunt your soul until it aches to be free of me. And then, I will hold you tighter, hunting Adeline Ellison Romano. I wake up to chains trapping my arms. My nose and eyes sting and I'm unable to smell anything. My vision is a blurred mess, but I can make out the figures in front of me. The room is humid and feels sticky against my skin. I must have shifted back into human form when I was knocked out. Whoever has taken me threw a large white shirt onto me. Thanks. The pebbles on the floor poke against my feet, but at least my legs are not chained to the wall as well. If I had to guess, they have taken me to the abandoned storage facility on Blood Moon Land. There is a small sense of comfort knowing I am still on my territory, but most of the pack has evacuated by now. They won't find me. Zayn will, though. My back still hurts, and what had started out as a sting of pain has morphed into a throbbing that makes me nauseous. The wolfsbane subdues my wolf, and I panic when I don't feel her. 𝐊𝐤, are you okay? No response. My heart feels tight at the realization. 𝐿. It's weak, barely present in my mind, but the small communication with my wolf brings me some solace. As my vision clears, I see Donata standing next to the hunter I was chasing. Darkness engulfs the room except for a single light bulb above me, making it harder to see my surroundings. Get away from her, I croak out. Apparently, I'm the next big comedian because they both burst out in laughter. I know what has happened now. I know, but I don't want to admit it. It would simply be too painful. Silly girl, always in over her head, Donata spits out. Betrayal hurts no matter how small or big it is. I just never imagined it to be this bad. I went to this woman for help. She helped my mate and me. And now she's ready to kill me. I can see the murder in her eyes. You're 20 years old. Alessandra. What the hell do you know about leading a pack? Trust me. If it wasn't me who got you, it would have been someone else. Why would you do this? Why not? My mouth opens to ask more questions, but then I hear a door slam. I look past Donata and see a glass barrier between this room and the next. Everything is set up like a makeshift torture chamber, which means these people have not been here long. I'm able to see through the glass, but I don't know if anyone on the other side can see me. Two men file in, the hunter status stamped on their biceps. They tug on the chain they brought with them, and Zayn walks in. He's bruised, but it's nothing extreme. He could take the men on if he wanted. Why hasn't he? His eyes search the room frantically, and I see the redness in his eyes from the wolfsbane. Wolfsbane lowers our senses down to a human's. He won't be able to smell me or hear me. Judging by his reddened eyes, I'm not sure his vision lets him see much either. Where is she? Two more men shuffle into the room, closing the door behind them. Sit down. But, the largest one says, where's my mate? I cooperated. Now show me her. Of course. Alpha. He spits out before reaching into his pocket and pulling out a large needle. He launches it into Zayn's neck so swiftly that for a second, I'm certain it didn't up and no. I shout. My wrists strain against the metal as I pull and tug in vain. My movements feel sluggish and lazy. There is no greater frustration than losing control of your own body. I will my limbs to move faster, my eyes to search for an exit, my ears to hear anything of importance. But my body does not respond to my brain. What was it? I croak out, referring to the injection they lodged into Zayn's neck. Donata sneers at me and goes back to fixating on Zayn. What was it? I shout. My chest heaves as I exert the small bit of energy the wolfsbane has not drained from me. Wolfsbane, goddess, you're acting like I would poison him, Donata says. What do you want, Donata? What I want is for you both to suffer. As the words leave her mouth, I see one of the men reach for a whip that he slashes across Zayn's bare chest. His skin sizzles, informing me that the whip was doused in wolfsbane. No, please. Don't hurt him, Donata. She ignores my pleas. Take down the glass, Donata commands. The man on my side of the glass obediently follows her orders. Zayn sees me the second the glass falls and a smile stretches across his bloody lips. My alarm, he rasps. Zayn, I cry out. He looks worse now that the glass has disappeared. The man have moved to whip his back and I watch as he clenches his jaw with every lash. Don't worry, my Luna, he whispers. I can see the torture getting to him. The wolfsbane prevents his healing on the outside while slowly draining his wolf of life on the inside. It's torture that is mental and physical. Let's take this party outside, Donata says. My brows furrow as the men open the door and take Zayn with them. His chains still bind him and his legs are shaky. He's close to passing out. Donata goes to leave as well, opting to leave me chained to the wall. What are you going to do? I've heard the 𝐊𝐢𝐳 a good swim, Donata says with an evil smile that shakes me to my core. He can't swim in that condition. He's bound. He can barely stay awake. Precisely. She goes to leave but stops at the threshold. I do hope you said your goodbyes, she adds before disappearing. No, wait. Please. My pleas are unheard. Humiliation sticks to me as I wonder how I never noticed Donata's suspicious behavior. Fight. I hear Leia's words, but I'm so tired. Fight. For me and our mate. I tug on the chains that bind me and notice that the hook they are attached to is loose. There's no way for me to leave without the chains around my wrists, but I can manage it if I can pull them off the hook on the wall. I focus all of my attention on pulling them out of the wall. It takes longer than it should, but eventually the chains snap off. I cringe as they make a loud rattling noise when they fall to the ground. I try to send Zayn a mind link, but the wolfsbane still lingers. I give up on the idea and hope that if I can get far away enough from here, I'll be able to mind link Zayn and the rest of the pack. Unfortunately, the door is locked when I reach it. There will be no way for me to break this door open and spare the man guarding it outside. I kick through the door and watch as the guard goes to shout to his friends for help. He doesn't get the chance. I try to release my claws, but the wolfsbane prevents me from doing so. Instead, I use the chain still attached to the cuffs on my wrists to strangle him. He struggles, but I'm hell-bent on getting out of here. I will myself to feel some remorse as he takes his last breath, but the sight of Zayn being tortured floods my mind. Any remorse I had disappears. There's no way I will be able to take down all those people who are currently planning on routing Zayn. Everything in me urges me to run to my mate, but I know it's not the right choice. I opt to run off into the woods. I need to get help, or at least let the wolfsbane wear off enough to send a mind link to my brother. The uphill climb is one that I could complete in a minute on a usual day. However, the wolfsbane still plagues my senses and the chains drag me down. Everything I do feels like it's in slow motion. It feels as if 1,000-pound boulder was placed on my shoulders as I continued the trek upward. I can feel my mind slowly start to clear, so I take the opportunity to mind link my brother. Help. 𝐷𝐞𝐝. Nightshades. Western border. I try to string the words together in my mind, and I can only hope that it reaches him. As I approach the top of the hill, a piercing pain cuts through my heart. All the breath leaves my lungs as a pain I've never felt before cuts me in half. My mind instantly goes to Zayn. Are they killing him? Do they decide to finish him off themselves instead of drowning him? The thought brings tears to my eyes, but steps down in front of me before 𝐷𝐞𝐝 comes into view. I fall to my knees, unable to support my body weight any longer. The pain in my chest as well as in my back from the nightshade's talon coupled with the dosage of wolfsbane becomes too much for my body to handle. Watching you finally fall is just as satisfying as I had imagined it to be, 𝐷𝐞𝐝 says. She holds a bow in her hands. Looking down, I see an arrow protruding from my chest. I used my last bit of fight on the climb in mind, linking my brother that I didn't even notice the arrow pierce my chest. At least now I know the pain wasn't them killing Zayn. It's a shame I couldn't watch you die the first time. That would have been poetic, don't you think? Watching you die twice, each time for the same man. Fuck you, 𝐷𝐞𝐝. She cackles as if this is amusing, as if my pain and suffering are entertainment for her. How about I show you how your mate felt when you died? Rosanna. Her hands grip my temples and a vision assaults me. I'm holding onto my stomach as knives fly at me from each direction. I can't call Lorenzo and he won't know anything is wrong because we have not been marked yet. Tears stream down my cheeks as blood pools on the ground beneath me. That's the vision I've sent Zayn for the past 3 years. That's what has plagued his mind for so long. She whispers connivingly. I stare at her in shock. It was you, I say dumbfounded. Of course it was me. 𝐻𝐻 ruined me. Do you understand? They ruined me. She takes a step closer to me. Do you know how hard it was not to murder you? Even as a child, you were a spitting image of Rosanna. It's nauseating. She spits. Taking a step closer, her hands grip my shoulders. I am 𝐷𝐞𝐝 DC. Alessandra. My family disowned me when I ran off with a boy, but he loved me. Alessandra. He did. Then that whore Rosanna had to go and marry him. She whispers angrily. You know why they killed him, Alessandra. Because that bitch couldn't keep her mouth shut and had to tell 𝐿𝐼�𝐼 that he abused her. Giuseppe only hit her because she was a bad wife. She deserved it. But we all know what happened to anyone who dared look at Rosanna already wrong. Her 𝐿𝐼𝐼 mate murdered him. She grips my chin and forces me to look into her beady eyes. So you see why I can't let you and Zayn live happily ever after. I might not have been able to kill the 𝐻𝐻, but Zayn is the last person alive with an ounce of 𝐻𝐻 blood in him. Your wolves can never be together. I won't allow it. Not when I can't be with my love. You're doing this for something that happened years ago. I am not Rosanna. Zayn is not Lorenzo. We didn't kill your love. For goodness sake. You watched us grow up. You've been there on the entire journey of us being mates. This pack treated you like family and you endangered their lives by bringing nightshades and hunters here. Collateral is necessary during times of war. She responds. This isn't a war. This is you acting like a crazy person. You sure talk a lot for a dying woman. Why not ruin our mate bond from the start? You pushed us together in Italy. You helped us. That was my sister's doing, not mine. She's always been ready to do whatever the alphas demand. Well, I'm sick of it. Your power does not entitle you to kill people. You're right. It doesn't. But you're not talking about people. You're talking about Giuseppe. I didn't kill Giuseppe. Zayn did not kill Giuseppe. Lorenzo did. And someone must pay. I will never let his wolf live in contentment when he stole my love away from me. Looking at Donata, I know she's too far gone. Anger and resentment have been brewing in her heart for years. There is no reasoning with her. She's been poisoned by the hate in her heart, and there is no cure for those who are already dead. Giuseppe was an abusive piece of shit who deserved to die. I spit at her. Anger fills her aged face, and as I stare up at the woman who has been a part of my life in both of my births, I realize she got to prevail in each one. Bullshit. I gather the small remaining strength in me and push myself up to my feet. I know I am dying. There is no way to escape it. The arrow in my chest drenched in wolfsbane solidifies the fact. The stench of wolfsbane permeates the air, and even the strongest of werewolves cannot survive when wolfsbane has entered their bloodstream for so long, especially through the heart. I refuse to die like this. If I am going to leave this earth, then she will come with me. She will pay for endangering my pack. I sway on my feet. Donata looks at me with amusement, which only pisses me off further. I know I must look like I am 2 seconds from death, but I'm able to use it to my advantage. My claws extend and I pierce them into her throat with no warning. Her eyes widen in terror while mine fight to stay open a minute longer. I will be remembered as an alpha. You will be remembered as a traitor. I hiss the words out as I squeeze. The added pressure makes her weep. Everything you ever did got you to this moment, Donata. I hope it was worth it. With those words, I pull out her jugular. I watch as her body falls to the ground and mine follows with it. I stare into the sky and watch as the place I called home welcomes the night. The sun has disappeared, the moon taking its place. I look at the moon and will the goddess to give me peace. I cry as I think of my family, my friends, and Zayn. I hope he moves on. I don't want him to have the same fate as Lorenzo Moretti. I'm sorry. I whisper. I ruined our second chance. I couldn't save him or myself. I'm sorry for the love story we never got to have. I'm sorry for the time we wasted. I'm sorry for all the things I never got to say. As I feel myself float away, I wonder if Zayn can feel my heart become an ether from his as it reaches for the moon, for the final light that werewolves receive. 𝐶HPTR59 without you said I killed you. Haunt me then. Be with me always. Take any form. Drive me mad. Only do not leave in this abyss where I cannot find you. Wuthering Heights 𝐿𝐢𝐬. Humans takes stupidity to another level. Two Ashets walk in front of me, tugging on my chains while I follow behind me. I continue to act as if the wolfsbane is still heavy in my system, but I've been able to gather my senses on the walk to the lake. Hopefully, they don't realize that it takes more wolfsbane to knock an alpha out. Can't wait to see this wolf freak drown, one of the hunters in the front says. Too bad we couldn't drown the girl too. His companion replies. It takes everything in me not to growl, but I keep my composure. Just as we reach the sand surrounding the lake, pain grips my chest. Immediately, I know that Alessandra has been hurt. It's not a slow blossom of pain like a simple injury. It's immediate and hits me straight in the chest. Whatever has happened is life-threatening. The single thought of her being in pain pushes my wolf to the surface despite the traces of wolfsbane in my bloodstream. For that moment, My body is no longer under my control as I relinquish control to my wolf. Guys his eyes, I don't let him finish that sentence. My hands are still bound, but my canines extend and I pierce them into his neck. Blood fills my mouth as the hunter struggles, but I rip a chunk of his flesh out of his neck, silencing him forever. The guy next to him reaches for his knife, but I knock my head against his bald one, using all the force in my body, sending him to the ground. The other two have already begun to run, and I'm instantly full of rage. They must have known the Nado was going to kill her, and that's enough to warrant death. Using every damn muscle in my body, I rip through the cuffs and reach the hunters with my werewolf speed. I snap each of their necks, wishing to prolong their deaths, but getting to Alessandra in time is more important. The pain in my chest is amplified, so I shift into my wolf. I'm able to track down Alessandra's scent within a matter of minutes, but dread fills me as I get closer. It's not just her signature scent of vanilla that fills my nose. There's also blood now. I run faster, desperate to find her when I come across my worst nightmare. Quickly, I shift back into my human form and call out to her, Alessandra. A sob breaks free as I find her body covered in the blood leaking from her chest and back. No, I chant. The tiny bit of hope, the little light keeping me sane, leaves me in the next moment. It's a pain like no other. It does not compare to being tortured, attacked by an 𝐖𝐨𝐷, or being pumped full of wolfsbane. It feels as if the goddess herself reached into my body and ripped off half of my soul. Alessandra, I cry out. Now the tears stream down my face with no sign of stopping. I cradle her body to my chest and rock back and forth. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please come back. Ricardo appears in front of me with his family trailing behind him. His eyes are wide open in horror as he stares at the lifeless body of his little sister. No, he whispers. It's one word, yet it carries so much anguish. Alessandra. Valentina cries out. She falls to her knees in front of me and cups her daughter's face as stream down her face. Words escape her mouth in a blubbering mess, but I'm unable to hear them clearly. Antonio, help her. Do something. Valentina shouts at her mate. Her voice is full of desperation as she pleads for her mate to do something to save their daughter. His face is blank as he stares at his daughter in my arms. Then he crumbles to the ground and cries. In the next second, he's beside me and wipes the dirt off of Alessandra's face with shaky hands. Mio tesoro, he says. My body begins to become drenched in blood from the wound on Alessandra's back. I hold her tighter, hoping for a miracle to save her from death, even though I know she's already gone. There is an emptiness in my soul that was once full of her love. In theory, the emptiness seems freeing, like a world of possibilities await. Yet now that I know what it feels like to be full of love, the emptiness feels suffocating with no sign of reprieve. Suddenly, a slap meets my face. I might have snarled in normal circumstances, but my body and my soul feel so drained it's hard to even react. Isabel stares down at me with fury in her eyes. This is all your fault, she whispers. You put her in this position. She should have been in Italy right now, safe from all this violence, but then you marked her. You marked her, and now she's dead because of you. I stay quiet. What am I supposed to say? That I tried my best. That our marking happened due to some divine intervention. How could you do this to her? Alessandra is good. She helps people. She has dreams. And now she's dead. She yells the words, but they end with a cry. I should be angry at her, but I suspect Isabel's the only one who feels her death like I do. They entered the world together, and now one of them is leaving without the other. We both made mistakes when it came to Alessandra, but she gave us both a second chance, and now she's gone. Her sobs shake her body. I just got her back, and now she's gone. She cries out between her sobs. I know. The tears never stop streaming down my face, but as I feel my mate's body go cold, I feel it. Rage? I hand her body over to Valentina, who stares at me in confusion, but I march over to Donata before she can say anything. I feel my canines and claws extend in unison when I see the old woman's corpse. Her eyes are still open in terror while her neck is a bleeding mess. The anger and grief take hold and I begin to slash. My claws meet her wrinkled skin and shreds of it peel off as I attack her corpse with the vigor unknown to mankind. I know she's dead. My wolf knows she's dead. But there is still satisfaction to be found in mutilating her body. What did she get out of all of this other than killing a good woman? I'm not sure how long I keep it up, but when I'm done, the only thing left on her face are her eyeballs. Some patches of skin remain on her body, but her face resembles a diagram of facial muscles found in an anatomy textbook, except completely obliterated. My chest heaves as I stare at her corpse and wonder how I got here. We were just at the beach. My heart hurts. It hurts so bad that I'm tempted to dig into my own chest and pull it out just to make it stop. I crawl over to Valentina and grab Alessandra. I press my cheek against hers and just breathe. Tears slide down my face as I hold her against me and wish for another outcome. There were so many more things she wanted to do. She was going to open her own medical practice. She wanted a family. And she had just mended her relationship with Isabel. It should have been me. Donata should have killed me. Not Alessandra. No, she can't be gone. I refuse to live in a world without Alessandra in it. I gather her body in my arms and take off without a word. Her family calls out to me, but I don't stop. My mate must live. I run towards the temple knowing what I must do. And for her, I do it 1,000 times over. 𝐶HPTR60, the stillness of death, I have been made to protect you. Even in death, I will find a way. 𝐾𝐥𝐻 and Rarimana is still. Everything was still. My heart, my body, even my voice, but my soul was thrown into chaos as I felt myself take those last breaths. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Please. It was a cry. A plea? To someone. Anyone to save me. There were people I loved. Places I needed to see. Things I never got to say. How was this fair? This was our second chance and it was ripped away so early. So easily. I felt myself realize that I had let down Leia and Raphael once again by dying. All they wanted was to be together. Each time their humans ruined it. Death is made out to be peaceful. As my chest rose and fell for the last time, I knew I would never be at peace. Not without him. The stillness is gone. For a second, I am floating. There is light, and as quickly as it comes, it disappears. I awake with a gasp and bulging eyes. My body feels ignited, but there's something wrong. As my vision clears, I take in the marble temple, now occupied by my family and friends. My chest still hurts from Donata's arrow, but I ignore the pain as I feel something much worse than death. With all the strength I have, I raise my right hand, still caked with Donata's blood, and bring it to my heart. I'm not sure why I do it. It just feels right at the moment. For a second, I have hope that this is not what I think it is, But when I find that my heartbeat is slow and steady, I know. I scream. It's full of pain and agony. My parents are poking and prodding, hoping to help my wounds, but I just want them to stop. I need it all to stop. 𝐿𝐥𝐼𝐬, I know it hurts now, but it will get better. You will heal in no time. We've cleared most of the wolfsbane out from the wound, my dad says, as he holds my hand. My scream shifts into a sob as I realize the truth. My eyes search for Giovanni, and when I see them, I know it will never get better. No, Alessandra, get away from me. All of you. Alessandra, we just want to stop. Stop. Tears blur my vision as I stand up. I sway for a moment, but then I'm running. I feel my wound protest at the sudden movement, but I know what I'm hunting for. Death. Only a mere 10 feet away from me lies the man I love. His beautiful smell of pine is cloaked by the stench of death. I collapse next to him. My knees dig into the floor as I stare at his body. I notice his lips first. They're dry and losing their color. Many wounds and bruises litter his body. I search for any that could have been fatal but come up short. Seeing him like this, helpless, makes me want to resurrect and not adjust so I can pierce another arrow through her heart. Her goons must have tortured him to death. I couldn't save him. At first, all I can do is stare. I want him to open his eyes and smile, that smile he only uses on me. I wanted to make fun of my terrible blankets. I wanted him to hold me. Hell, I'm okay with us going back to hating each other as long as he's alive. As long as he's here with me. Each thought sends more tears down my cheeks until I'm shaking as sobs escape me. I'm unable to hold myself up any longer and just lay on his chest. Many nights I fell asleep like this, my head on his chest, his heartbeat thudding away, but there is no sound, no movement. Empty. I hear the crunch of leaves behind me as my family and friends approach. They do not say anything as I mourn. How did he die? My voice is small and raspy as it comes out. I need to know, but a part of me cannot stand visualizing it. I do not want to think about him in pain. I don't want him to have had to feel the lack of peace I felt as I died. I want to scream at the goddess. Why did you let me live? If we were both close to death, 𝐿𝐥𝐼𝐬, an existence without my mate feels worse than death. I felt myself die. How am I here? A part of me acknowledges that this is how Lorenzo felt when Rosnett died. I understand it now. The mass murders. I would do anything for another chance with him, even if it meant breaking my morals. I push myself off his chest and turn around when no one answers the question. Tell me. My parents look stricken. My dad goes to answer, but my mom stops him. Sweetheart. She whispers. Mama, just tell me. Please? She pulls out a paper from the back of her pocket. It's folded into a tiny square, but I can smell his scent on it. This is for you, she says. She places it in my hands, and I know that whatever I'm going to read will ruin me. My hands shake as I unfold the paper. Everyone watches me with trepidation. Sometimes, not knowing is the better option. 𝐶𝐻 bury me. Yai Bernie is Arabic for you bury me. It is the hope that you will die before your one true love because you cannot bear to live without them. Devious lies, Alessandra. I'm writing this as I feel the life leave my body. I know, it sounds bad, but there is so much peace in my soul knowing that you will get to breathe the Tahoe air you've appreciated so much. You will get to make more memories with your family and heal your relationship with your sister. You will get to watch the sunsets by the lake and know that I am always with you. The only bitterness comes from knowing that I did not get to see you smile one last time. It's hard to look at your pale, lifeless body without flying into a fit of rage, so I've been scrolling through the pictures of you on my phone. There is happiness in seeing some of my favorite moments with you, but I cannot help but yearn for the real thing. You know, I never wanted this. All of it. I never wanted a mate. I never wanted to fall in love with you. And I never wanted to lose you. When I first saw you, you must have been 1 or 2 years old, and I demanded that my parents let me take you home. The next time I saw you, I was a heartbroken child who had watched his mother be ripped apart. You were a tiny thing, a newly shifted wolf, but you resembled a puppy. There was a white rose in your mouth that you placed in front of me before trotting away. I never said thank you. I never told you how much it meant to me for someone to understand what I needed. I did not want the mountains of home, cooked food, or anyone's condolences. I just wanted my mom. So when you left me her favorite flower, I knew she must have been looking out for me. It meant more to me than I can ever put into words. For a second, when I looked into your eyes, I felt as if I was whole again. I've cherished all our moments, even when you hated me and we watched movies in silence at your parents' house. What I'm trying to say is that I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You are my sun. You are my stars. You are my whole damn universe. You've given me something I never knew I was missing, and I know I will never be able to live without it. I've never been particularly religious. The last time I went to the goddess temple simply to pray was when my mom was alive. Other than that, I only went when there was some sort of pack event going on. As I stood before the goddess and begged her to give you life in exchange for mine, I knew in my heart it was going to work. I will forever be thankful to my creator, not because she made me, but because she created you. Then, she chose to save you. If you're wondering why I did this, the answer is quite simple. A world without you is one without light, without color, without music or love. It's a drab existence that I have no intention of living in. I know it is unfair, but perhaps this is how it was always supposed to be. I know we did not receive the happy ending our wolves deserved, but I've realized that a bit more time with the people you love is priceless. Raphael is grateful for his extra time with you and Leia. Most wolves do not get a second chance, and I will always be thankful for getting to know you in this life. You can survive without me. Oh no, but I cannot survive without you. I'm doing this to rectify the past and the present. It was my fault last time. I could not save you. I could not save you this time either, but I will not let you die because of my mistakes. Take care of the pack. They will need you. Make sure to drink water. You cannot survive on Shirley temples and coffee. Do not drown in my memory. I cannot bear the thought of you turning into a shell just because I'm dead. Find love again. Dream big. And be happy. All I've ever wanted for you is to be happy. I know I did not handle it in the best way in the beginning, but I thought I was protecting you. You and my Oamor, our gem, never forget that. I do not know what is in the afterlife, but I assure you I'll always watch over you. Live a long life for the both of us. Little Wolf, forever yours. Zayn 𝐶HPTER 62. Defy the odds if I were the moon. I want you to be my sky. Alexandra Vasiliou, Italy 1416. Rosanna stood by her bedroom window that overlooked the courtyard. The flowers in the garden were blooming, and she could see some of the pack children picking them and making bouquets for their mothers. The older ones had even mastered making flower crowns for their moms. It made her smile. One day her kids would do that for her. Actually, she was pretty great at making flower crowns. Perhaps she could teach them how to make them. Do you think we could make a swing for our pub out there? Rosanna asked Lorenzo. Her hands fall into her belly. Of course. We can all know only the best for my son and my mate. And how do you know it's a boy? I have a feeling. Later, we'll have a girl. Will we now? Oh, of course. She'll look like you but act like me. Goddess help us all then. Lorenzo laughed. 𝐿𝐴𝐴 Romano. I told them not to move his body. I guess a hopeful part of me wishes that the goddess will seize 𝐿𝐴𝐴's corpse on the floor of her temple, take pity on me, and send him back to me. It's been a week and she has not come through. 𝐊𝐲 made the trip down from Italy and was able to use some oracle magic to preserve his body while I tried to get myself together. A part of me wanted to rip 𝐊𝐲's throat out the same way I did to her sister, but it was obvious she was not involved. In fact, she has been trying her best to search for a solution. It was not our fault that they resembled each other so much. Though, Zayn had turned Anata into the equivalent of shreds, so I'm not sure I can say they resemble each other. I'm aware that this isn't how Luna should act. She should be out comforting her pack or working on a plan to get everyone through this, but I cannot. This isn't my pack, it is our pack. He's supposed to be here with me. We were supposed to do it all together. Time to get up. Sunshine. Isabel calls out before opening my bedroom door. The light filters in from the corridor and causes me to squint. Go away. Ignoring me, Isabel opens the curtains that are covering the balcony windows. A stream of sunlight hits me square in the eyes, causing me to squint and pull my blanket over my head in order to shield myself. Alessandra, this is not what he wanted for you. I peek over the blanket, ready to tell my sister to get lost when my eyes catch something. Our coffee cups rest on the table out on the balcony. His chair is arm with mine. Since it was a particularly cold morning, we were both snuggling with one of my knitted blankets around our shoulders. I remember telling him that his shoulders were too broad and he was hogging the blanket, with which he retorted how I should have made the blanket bigger to accommodate the two of us. I'll never have coffee out there with him again. The thought sends me into tears that shake my body. Isabel wraps me in her arms as I feel my heart shatter again. Will it ever feel whole again? 3 weeks pass. I get dirty looks from pack members. Maybe they are upset about my disheveled appearance, or perhaps they think I'm crazy for not cremating their alpha already. Either way, I refuse to give up. He found a way to bring me back. There must be a way for me to do it too. I make my way to the pack house and search for 𝐊𝐲. I'd been avoiding going to Zayn's office because the last time I went in I found the blueprints for a surprise he had in store for me. It was my own clinic. He had remembered my dream of pursuing medicine and wanted me to chase it, even though it is not traditional for a Luna to do so. It was the sweetest gesture that had me sobbing on the floor within a minute. So safe to say I will not be returning for a while. I find 𝐊𝐲 in the gardens with different crystals hanging from her neck and adorning her fingers. My Luna, 𝐊𝐲, how are you doing? Let's quit the small talk. Did you find anything? I pleaded with 𝐊𝐲 to look over some old books about werewolf history in order to find something that might be able to help Zayn. She seems to have given up. Everyone has given up or placed me in the insane category. Actually, the only person who I think believes that I can bring Zayn back to life is Isabel. You guys keep defying the odds. I'm sure you can do it again. Her words mean more to me than I was able to express. Sweetheart, 𝐊𝐲 says no. Do not sweetheart me. Tell me the truth. She sighs deeply before continuing. Luna, I have tried my best. I cannot preserve his body any longer. There is no such thing as resurrecting a wolf. Once you die, you're dead. It is the way of life. Even the supernatural cannot combat it. But look at me, 𝐊𝐲𝐬. Look at Lorenzo and Rosanna. Wolves only live one life, but ours got two. I was dead. I felt myself die. Yet I am here, standing in front of you, breathing in front of you, and it is not natural. Your very existence is a first. Alessandra, there is no precedent to help guide us through this. I do not know the rules of this resurrection you have gone through. How long should we expect you to live? What were the terms of your resurrection? I do not know. You do not know. The only one who knows is the goddess herself, and she has not given me a single vision to go off of. My shoulders slump in defeat. I am sorry, my child, but I do not know how to help you. We've already tried a variety of things. A prayer, a ceremony for the goddess. I even pleaded in front of her like Zayn did, but my words did not have the same effect. The moon goddess is not known for her stability. She is rather fickle and expects a lot from werewolves in return for her boon of long life and supernatural abilities. But 𝐊𝐲𝐬, I feel him. He is not gone. Child, it is possible that your wolf is holding on to this feeling because she cannot bear to accept the truth. I haven't heard anything from my wolf in 3 weeks. Zayn is not breathing. He has no heartbeat. He is dead. Are we humans? No, those are the characteristics that define a dead human. A werewolf is only dead when their wolf is. And a werewolf is half human. One half cannot exist without the other. 𝐊𝐲𝐬 sits on the bench behind her and takes a deep breath. A part of me feels bad for bothering the old woman all the time, but I know she's the only one who can help me. I watch as her wrinkled fingers fiddle with the large rings on her hand. The ring. 𝐊𝐲𝐬. Yes, Luna? The ring? Her eyebrows furrow in confusion. The ring? The 𝐊𝐢𝐳 ring? Her eyes widen, and I see the glimmer of hope, but it quickly dies. Not even 𝐊𝐢𝐳𝐼𝐻 has the power to bring a person back to life. That power rests in the hands of the goddess. I know you don't believe me, and I do not blame you for it, but he is still here. I can feel his presence. It's that tiny bit of his soul that is keeping me from falling apart every day. It took me a while to feel it, but I know he is here and he is waiting for me to save him as he saved me. I cannot give up on him. I can't. I cry. Okay, my child. I will help you. She says the words with pity. I know she doesn't think it will work, but I know that this cannot be the end. I know. 𝐊𝐲𝐬 and I sit on the temple floor in front of Zayn. His body is spread out in front of the goddess idol. On the wall, the same that adorns every temple of Selene shines under the moonlight. For the one who gave light to the night, I traced the mark I left on Zayn all those months ago. My life was so different then. It was about exploring newly, meeting new people, and perfecting my skills. I never knew I could feel so empty, so alone. My hand touches the spot where my neck meets my shoulder. I can feel the mark his canines left, the indication that I am his mine. The ring is on my hand, and in 𝐊𝐲𝐬's lap is the history of the Blood Moon Pack. Each alpha pairing is given its own book that serves as a history tool for the pack. Right now, we are reading Clarice and Dante De Luca's book. 𝐿𝐲𝐑𝐞𝐫𝐬 was gifted the ring by the monarchy. The reasons are known, but it is speculated that 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬 is known to hold some of the goddess power. No one has ever used the stone's magical properties before, so it is unknown to which extent the power will go. It is also unknown if all three pieces of the stone need to be together in order for it to work. Well, that is hardly helpful at all. Luna, this could mean that the most this 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬 can do will not be achieved without the other pieces. Nobody knows what the monarchy is up to. The monarchy has slowly faded away. In fact, they are not present in werewolf society at all. Even my grandparents have never seen a member of the royal family, and they've been around a lot longer than me. The last time a reigning monarch held true power was centuries ago. It would be impossible to get my hands on the crowns of the monarchs. Their crowns house the other two pieces of 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬. There is still some power in this stone. Even if it is not at the magnitude it could be, I say. Though my wolf has been absent since Zayn's sacrifice, when I put the ring on I felt her stir. She must feel the power. 𝐊𝐲𝐳 continues to stare at the words in front of her before looking at me. For the first time, I see actual belief in her eyes. The belief that I can do this. Luna, when you died, did you cross to the other side? I did. It was only a split second, but I remember the feeling. I've never felt anything like it. I am not sure if this will work, but since you crossed the other side, there must be some of the goddess essence with you. I think since you are the one who will resurrect him, it will work, even though we only have one piece of 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬. I stare at her with the biggest smile on my face. You've been touched by the goddess. I can see it now. Honestly, I thought perhaps you were pregnant, but it did not seem appropriate to bring it up. There is this glow about you. It's so, but I think it represents the goddess' second gift of life to you. I can't believe I am saying this, but this might work, my Luna. I stare at the ring on my left hand. The violet gem is huge, and it is quite clear this piece of stone is different than the rest found on Earth. It radiates power and divinity. I bring the ring to my lips and watch as it glows upon contact. I place the 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 on Zayn's heart when I hear 𝐊𝐲𝐳 begin an ancient prayer to the moon goddess. May she bless us. Violet light floods the room. Then I hear my name come from the voice I love so much.